What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Betting the House, episode 11. As always, we are live on the Alithio Network. Don't forget to check out their other shows like Chicago Hockey Radio, Good Morning Hockey, Let's Cool One, and Not From Chicago But Close Enough. Like always, let's talk about what we're going to get into today. I've got on the tab World Series Game 4, NBA, NHL, and some college football. But before we get into the recap of last Thursday's, I'm going to hit us with a little bit of a gambling warning. The following content may discuss topics related to gambling. Gambling can be addictive and is not suitable for all individuals. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. In the U.S., contact the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org for resources and support. Illinois residents can also contact 1-800-426-2537 for local assistance. Please gamble responsibly and be aware of the risks involved. Must be 21 years or older if gambling in Illinois. All right, without further ado, let's recap our Thursday's bets. Man, it started really rocky for me. Whole lot of red. Over in the NBA, Spurs Mavs, I took over 229.5. I lost by 1 point. The final score was Mavs winning 120 to 109, meaning total 229. 1.1. Kings lose money line. That's another one of mine. They lose 115 to 117 to the Timberwolves. And then my last bet in the NBA on Thursday was Nuggets minus 2.5, and that was so far from hitting. They lose 87 to 102 to the Thunder. Moving over into baseball, Friday night, I took Yankees money line. Everything was looking good. You know, they went into extra innings. Yankees up 3-2 in the 10th, only for Freddie Freeman to hit a walk-off grand slam in the 10th. Not only that, he homered again in Saturday's game 2, along with Yamamoto's one allowed hit in 6 1/3 innings. But they took care of the Yankees also in game 3, winning 4-2, but they are a little on edge with Shohei's partial shoulder dislocation. So watch out for that. Over in the NFL, I only got to watch a few of these. Also, Thursday night, Vikings, I had them minus 2.5. They lost by 10. Terrible. Sweating an 0-5 at that point. Then I went to the Texans game in Houston. Got to watch them as they almost choked the lead away. Got to see that fumble recovery touchdown get called back. It did not hit. Texans minus 5 did not hit. They win 23-20. A couple of these Dolphins and Ravens Browns I did not get to see because they were happening at the same time as the Texans game. But Dolphins, I took minus 3. They end up losing by 1. Cardinals win 29-28. The other game I didn't get to see, Ravens-Browns, over 44.5, which actually ended up hitting. First hit of the night of the weekend, which was really nice to see. Browns win 29-24. This one, awesome. Washington plus 2.5. They were winning all game. Bears come back to take the lead. Washington wins on a last-second Hail Mary touchdown to Noah Brown. Not sure if anyone saw that angle. Raven, I don't know if you did, but
the DB taunting.
Yeah, Stevenson was taunting all the Washington fans,
and then he
was the one
to
who
the play and
bobbles and tips it to Brown. They win 18-15. San Francisco, I took at minus 4.5 spread at minus 110 odds. That hits too. Final score, 49ers win 30-24. And then last night, Steelers. I had them at the minus 6.5 spread at minus 110 odds. That hits. Final score, Steelers win 26-18. Not a great week, but definitely making up for it at the end. 4 wins, 7 lost. Got to make that back this week, guys. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into the games I have for going on tonight and tomorrow. First one, World Series Game 4 tonight, 7 p.m., Dodgers-Yankees. I'm taking the Yankees money line again. I didn't really expect to be talking about a possible sweep in this World Series game here, but with Boone's puzzling choices, the Yankees' top hitters struggling, and Freeman in MVP form, this series hasn't been close at all. Every game I've been looking for that Yankees win. Nope. Have they quit? Will they avoid the sweep? Kind of hard to stay, but once again, I'm doubling down on the Yankees money line. Lewis Gill, impressive season. He's starting for New York, despite the heavy workload. His arm could definitely succeed against the Dodgers. LA opting for their bullpen. So I think New York definitely has a slight pitching edge, but if Torres, Soto, and Judge have any pride, I think they show up. I think if they do, they have enough to force a game 5, especially because MLB probably wants that to happen too, the series to go longer. I'm taking the Yankees again. It's the only game. There's also a game tomorrow night if necessary. Look for similar things. I can't obviously tell you who's starting because it's all hypothetical and might not happen if the Dodgers complete the sweep tonight. Raven, do you want to say anything? Have you been keeping up to date with the World Series?
Yeah, I still think it's Dodgers in 4.
You think they get the sweep?
I mean, I've been saying it all series, so I'm not going to change my take now. But I mean, coming out to Bow Down by Ice Cube for Game 1, it's a pretty baller move, man. And I saw the take of like someone like Nas or Jay-Z needs to play a New York song for the Yankees to stay in it.
Yeah.
I think that would be funny. I think it would be cool.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Genuinely, I do think just the Dodgers are so good. And Judge and Stanton have been kind of nowhere this series, so it's kind of hard to.
Well, Stanton's been all right. He's definitely been the best of their top 4. Him and Soto, arguably, but Torres and Judge, have not really shown up very well. Well, if that's all you got for baseball in the World Series, I'll move over into the basketball games tonight. I wanted to preface this by saying there haven't been any lines set for any of Wednesday's games, so I'm only just going to read them off after I talk about tonight's games. First game of the night, first 2 at 6:30 are Nuggets Nets and Mavs Timberwolves. I took Denver winning with their spread by -4.5 at -112 odds on the first game, and the Wolves covering their spread of 5 in the second at -108 odds. 2 games I did want to talk about tonight, though. Kings Jazz at 8 p.m. tonight. I'm thinking taking the Sabonis over 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists at -115. Looks like a pretty good pick. He continues to fly under the radar with his impressive numbers. He's off to a strong start, averaging 23, 11, and 6 through 3 games, including a 29-point triple-double against the Lakers. He faces a relatively weak Utah Jazz defense, 26th in defensive rating and allowing the 3rd most points per game. Utah's power forward, John Collins, has one of the league's worst defensive ratings, making it seem like it'll be unlikely he'll be able to contain Sabonis. Last year, Sabonis hit the 37.5 PRA over in more than 60% of his games, yet here the odds kind of only suggest a 54%, making it kind of a solid play value, I think. If you're looking for something else, one other thing I noticed is he's also at a +500 to record another triple-double if you're confident he'll dominate. I'm not entirely sure I am. That's why I'm sticking with the 37.5 PRA. But if you like a challenge and like a little sweat, +500 for a triple-double. Last game of the night, Pelicans-Warriors, 9 p.m. tonight. I took the Warriors money line at +108. Both these teams are super injured. New Orleans won both games last season at Chase Center. Can they make it a 3rd in a row? The Pelicans struggling without Murray and Murphy and having to play small without Valanciunas. And they're still really struggling on rebounds and fast breaks. Golden State, on the other hand, missing Stephen Curry due to a sprained ankle, and Andrew Wiggins is questionable. However, with their depth and strong 3-point shooting, ranked only behind the Celtics and Cavs right now, make them even tougher at home. With 5 players averaging double-digit points, I'm thinking of backing the Warriors to secure their first home win tonight. Like I said, for the Wednesday games, no lines have been set. But other than that, there are 5 games at 6 p.m. Raptors, Hornets, Lakers, Cavs, Celtics, Pacers, Pistons, 76ers, and Hawks and Wizards. 6:30 game, Knicks versus Heat tomorrow night. Magic versus the Bulls in Chicago, 7 p.m. Look out for that. Nets, Grizzlies, also at 7 p.m. Spurs taking on the Thunder in OKC at 8:30. Pelicans, Warriors, back-to-back games tonight and tomorrow night, also at 9 p.m. And then last game of tomorrow night, Blazers, Clippers, 9:30 p.m. Any of those you like? I noticed that the Bucks aren't playing here for now 2 days straight, which is kind of confusing. I figured everyone's got to play at least every other day, but I guess not.
Sorry, Tassos just handed me a phone of 3 players, but it's very funny. Anyways, games this weekend. No, I don't think, or games on Wednesday. I don't know. I think personally, I mean, basketball, it's such a hard take, and I kind of agree with Lee's take from Chicago Hockey Radio. Go check that out. Of the first games, I don't want to say don't matter, but they matter less, in my opinion, in the sense of like a lot of the guys are still either coming out of injury or still getting up to the season. It's weird kind of place. Like no one's really playing basketball like the NBA Finals games. Like we're not going to see guys really, really, really trying, I don't think, for at least another month now.
Yeah.
I think guys are going to try to, guys in their 5th or 6th year that are kind of in their prime, I think they will be trying to go a little harder, a little quickly, just because, they care a little bit more about their personal stats now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, I'm very indifferent about basketball betting. It's just a hard one.
Yeah, well, it's also makes it even harder that there are no lines, so you can't even like
get a reference.
If you're thinking of something, you can't even see what the returns would be yet. So it's like, I almost just I didn't even do very much research because it was like clearly no one was talking about it or anything yet. But yeah, other than that, let's move over to the NHL. It's very similar. They don't have Wednesday lines out or haven't even been set yet. So I'm going to talk about the games tonight. 5 games at 6 p.m. First one I want to talk about is Kraken's Canadiens. I'm looking to take Doc at the over half a point at -105 odds. He's been thriving in this Canadiens top line with Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, notching a goal and 3 assists over in the past 3 games. The line has produced almost 5.5 goals per 60 minutes at 5-on-5 and 801 when including power play time with strong puck control. He's drafted 3rd overall in 2019. He was always seen as that scoring talent, even though his injuries have kind of hindered that process for him. Now his skill, vision, and creativity are on display alongside with Suzuki and Caulfield. He's contributing meaningfully. 2 primary assists, an impressive per 60 stats, 10.5 shots, 15.5 attempts, and just under 1 expected goal in these games. Second 6 p.m. game I want to talk about, Ducks Islanders. I have the Islanders covering their spread of -1.5 at +105 odds. Like I said, it features the Anaheim Ducks taking on the New York Islanders in New York. The Ducks aim to end their 2-game losing streak, while the Islanders look to bounce back from a 6-3 loss to the Panthers. Anaheim's offense has been struggling, ranking near the bottom in goals, shots, power play, shooting, and faceoff percentages. Their defense, solid in goals allowed, but very weak in shots allowed and penalty kill percentage. The Islanders, on the other hand, led by Ilya Sorokin, who's 1.74 goals against average. They have a very strong defense, even though their penalty kill is at just under 70%. With the Ducks power play only at 7.5%, I'm expecting a low scoring game, but I think the Islanders cover there more than a goal due to Sorokin's presence and the Ducks offensive struggles. Last 6 p.m. game I want to talk about, the Wild taking on the Penguins in Pittsburgh. I'm taking the Wild money line at minus 128 odds. They conclude their 7-game road trip in Pittsburgh against the Penguins tonight. After 4 straight wins, the Wild are starting to show fatigue in their last loss, 7-5 to Philly. Definitely strong offensively, 10th with 3.5 goals per game and 5th on the power play. Their penalty kill kind of struggles, though, at 73.5%. The Penguins, on the other hand, are on a 5-game slide, 0-4-1, scoring only 10 goals and allowing 4 or more in 6 straight games, with the NHL's worst 4.2 goals allowed per game. Despite a recent home win trend going on in the NHL, I'm definitely backing the Wild to finish this road trip strong with a dub in Pittsburgh, especially as Pittsburgh's defensive struggles continue. The 2 other games going on at 6 p.m. are Flyers Bruins in Boston at 6 p.m. I was looking at the Boston covering their spread of minus 1.5 goals at plus 122 odds. And the final 6 p.m. game, Blues take on the Senators in Ottawa at 6 p.m. None of those odds really looked that good to me, so I just took the Senators money line at minus 152. 6:30 game tonight, Rangers Capitals in DC. I took the Rangers money line at minus 140. They're definitely renewing their Metropolitan Division rivalry tonight in Washington. The Rangers swept the Capitals last year in the playoffs, but Washington has definitely started strong this year at 5-2-0. However, the Rangers remain dominant, 3rd ranked offensively and 2nd defensively. Igor Shesterkin solid in goal and pretty unmatched forward depth. They're also 4-0 on the road and excel in puck control, ranking 5th in faceoff success, 54% compared to the Capitals' 47%. With pretty limited offensive threats outside Washington's top 6, I think and sort of expect the Rangers to keep their road streak alive. I'm backing the Rangers on the money line. Last game tonight is at 9 p.m. It's the Kings taking on the Sharks in San Jose. I was kind of looking at the over 5.5 at minus 134 odds. I thought that was a pretty solid pick. And like I said at the start, no lines have been set for Wednesday. But other than that, there are 6 games on tomorrow. Islanders Blue Jackets at 6 p.m. Jets Red Wings at 6:30. Lightning Avs at 8 p.m. Flames and the Hockey Club at 8:30. Golden Knights and Kings at 9. And then Devils Canucks 9:30. Before I go on to college football, Raven, anything you wanted to touch on with my NHL?
I think Minnesota, that game's going to be good against the Penguins. Fleury's back in Pittsburgh for the first time in a long time.
Oh, that's right.
Both New York teams, the Islanders brought up Rempe back. Or wait, Rangers. So I think they have a good chance of, having a scrappy game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Islanders are a weird one. I do think Seattle will win.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my takes.
Okay. Yeah, I guess let's move over to college football then. I'm not going to talk really odds about this first game at all because we talk about these two teams a lot. But New Mexico State taking on FIU at 6 p.m. tonight. Second game and third game tonight, I am going to talk about um, Louisiana Lafayette taking on Texas State at 6:30 tonight. I have Louisiana covering their spread of +3.5 at -110 odds. You know, they head to San Marcos to face Texas State in a key Sun Belt matchup. You know, despite being undefeated in the conference and winning all 10 of their previous matchups, 11 if counting a vacated game, Louisiana's a 4-point underdog. You know, last season they edged Texas State 34-30 and then won 41-13 on their last visit to San Marcos. Texas State, on the other hand, they're fresh off a 24-14 loss to Old Dominion, is 2-3 straight up and against the spread since mid-September. Last game, their offense definitely really struggled. Season low of 14 points and only 173 passing yards. Texas State just doesn't seem poised to dethrone the Sun Belt leaders yet, in my opinion. Yeah, on the second game, Louisiana Tech versus Sam Houston, 7 p.m. I took the under, which was set at 45.5 at -110 odds. You know, Louisiana Tech heads to Huntsville to face Sam Houston. The Bulldogs definitely struggled offensively last week, barely beating UTEP 14-10 with the under easily hitting. They scored 20 or fewer points in 4 of their last 6 games and averaged just 349 total yards and just under 24 points per game, while allowing 307 total yards defensively. Sam Houston's offense, definitely hot very early in the season, but they seem to have cooled down in these midweek games, averaging just 12 points and allowing 19. Last Tuesday, they barely scraped by FIU 10-7 with only 131 rushing yards and 76 passing yards. Their kicking issues and recent low-scoring games definitely make me think and favor the under here. Let's move on to our last game on Wednesday night. Well, there are 2, but I'm only talking about one. Jackson State versus Liberty. Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State at +2.5 at -110 odds. You know, Liberty's playoff hopes were pretty crushed last week after that devastating 27-24 loss to winless Kennesaw State, despite being the 27-point favorite. They're now 1-5 against the spread. Their defense has really struggled, allowing 24 plus points in 5 of 6 games and giving up 320 yards and 22.2 points per game. In contrast, Jacksonville State scored 42 points in each game during the 4-game win streak, allowing just 16 points per game and covering every time. Liberty won last year's matchup 31-13, but given recent form, I think Jacksonville State's offensive confidence makes them the stronger pick here. And then the last game before Thursday is Kennesaw State versus Western Kentucky. I'm looking to take the over 50.5, which for whatever reason I do not have the odds for. Raven, anything? I know you hate talking about CFB, but
let's go Louisiana Lafayette, I guess.
Yeah, no, that'll be a fun game to watch tonight. Let's if we're both back at the crib, maybe we can watch it. All right. Well, shit, guys, that's all I've got for today. Tune in for more Thursday, 11 a.m. on the Alithio Network YouTube page. Also, check out Alithio Network's other shows like Chicago Hockey Radio, Good Morning Hockey, Let's Cool One. Not from Chicago, but close enough. They're available everywhere. You get podcasts, either audio, video, whatever. Audio for this live Betting the House will be live shortly after it ends. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or smash 5-star ratings and follow us on Spotify and Apple Pods. Peace out, guys. Have a great midweek. See you Thursday.